Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to run a .wav file on Java. This method can also be done with two other file types that are less used. I'll probably go and put them in the description of this video. With that, let's get started. So to start, because we're importing from a file, we'll have to go and put our import statement in for the file object, right? So import, and of course, because of that, we will also need to go and import the file not found exception. Now, technically there is a more elegant way to take care of exceptions, but in this video I'm just going to go and throw them all, so instead of using a try-catch statement. So for that, you just go and add the throw statement, and you go and add your exception. Right. And now we come down here. Our file is named radar.wav, so we're going to take note of that when we go and create the file variable, right? So I'll call this a file, and we'll call this variable song for now. Or it's not really song, it's just noise, so sound equals file radar.wav. And yeah, make sure that that's correct if you're on a non-Windows file system. If you're running this not on any operating system that's not Windows related, because those tend to be case sensitive. Right. And now the next thing we actually need to go and start importing stuff for the audio, right? So the big one that we're going to import is this file called audio. Is this class called audio system, right? So pretty much it's going to be in the background and provide us with the methods to create all of the objects related to working of audio. So now it's in the javx.sound.sample library. Sample.audio system. Right. And then we'll also need to go and convert the information in our file object down here into a form that Java can actually understand and process. And we'll do that with something called an audio input stream. So first we'll need to go and import the audio input stream class that's also in the same library as audio system. So we'll go and just add that real fast. .audio input stream. And then once you have it in the input stream, we'll be feeding it into this object called a clip object, which will pretty much go and take in the audio information from the audio input stream and read it, and then we'll be able to go and tell it to go and do stuff like play it back to us. Import .sound. Great. And now we'll actually start using these. There's going to be a few extra errors that we're going to throw as we continue, generally exceptions. And I'll go and tell you what those are when we come upon them. So first thing we'll do is we will go and create the audio input stream object. And we will do that by writing the audio input stream, right? Because that's going to be our, I guess, type here, but technically it's the kind of object we're using. And I think I'm going to just call this input stream, or input. How about audio input? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And now this is where audio system comes in, because you don't want to go new audio input stream like you do of like files or most other objects. You want to go and use a method in audio system called get audio input stream. So that's going to be audio system dot, and yeah, it's right here, or just get audio input stream. And this requires the entry of a file object, which we created up here. So now we're just going to type in sound. And the next thing we need to do is we go and create a clip. Actually, before we do that, there's a bunch of exceptions that we need to go and add to our throws. So specifically this I/O exception and this unsupported audio file exception. This one is needed because there's only, as mentioned before, there's only certain types of audio files that Java actually uses to play back sound and whatnot, which isn't an issue here because we're using a .wav, but say if you're using like an MP3 or something else, that might start causing trouble. So first thing we need to do, we'll go and import that. Import and that's just going to be this right here. I'll come down here, and to add multiple exceptions, you just add a comma and you add the next one. And then we also have this like I/O exception, I guess because it's using it's reading from a file, so they just have the I/O exception being thrown. So right, so we don't have that here yet, but we can just go up here and add it. It's in the java.io section. So we go here and we'll go and add java.io exception. So we're wondering, one moment. I just forgot to add the import statement. And this is where the next part comes in. Right, we have our audio import stream, and now we need the object that's actually going to go and play the music through our audio. And in that case, that's going to be what we call the clip object, which we brought up here. So again, this is something that we don't use new clip and put in the parameters that the documentation shows. We can just go and do this the lazy way by using audio system again. So clip clip, I'll just call this clip. Yeah, we'll use the getClip method here. Okay. Okay, and because the clip has its own exception they need to go and add, called the line unavailable exception. So for that, we'll go and add another import statement, and then we'll just, this is also in the javaxsound.sampled library, so we'll just go javaxsound.sampled line unavailable exception. Right, this one right here. We come down here and we'll just go and add it to our next throws clause. Technically, again, try catch is allegedly the way to go, but because this is just like basic code and not much, I'm not really putting it in right now. And now we have this clip here, right? But the clip doesn't have anything in it itself. Right, so we need to go and put the information from this audio input into the clip, which we will do with a function called clip.open, right? So in the clip object, there's this function called open, which will go and load the information from audio input into the clip. Right, and in this case, we'll take our clip variable's name, clip in this case, and we'll go and open it, .open. And now this is our audio input stream, so go audio input. And next we actually need to go and play the audio, which we'll do with clip.start. And after this, the audio will start playing, but the issue is that Java itself just sees the function, it starts, I'm not sure whether it runs another thread or not, but it immediately ends the program. So what we need to do is we need to go and pause the main thread for a short amount of time, which we'll do for an amount of time that this function will, that this file needs to run. And we will do that with a mix of two different functions. The first is going to be thread.sleep. And what this does is pretty much it tells the main thread, or pretty much like the part of the CPU that's like processing all this stuff, to go and temporarily pause for, in this case, in milliseconds, whatever we want. And we'll go and get, actually it's in seconds, not milliseconds, sorry. And we'll go and get this in seconds by going to the clip up here, and it has this function called get microsecond length, which will give us that in microseconds. So we'll go clip, right, but this will give us the microseconds, not seconds. So from here we just go and divide it by 1,000, and that gives us seconds. And of course put in the semicolon, and we should be good to go, except I forgot one thing. We also need to go and add the interrupted exception, which is what you use whenever you go and pause a thread process like we are doing here. And that's all. If we go and save this now and run it, it works. And I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, like the video, and possibly subscribe if you like what we're doing on this channel. Also, if there's anything I got incorrect here, just put it down in the comments, and I'll try to go and update it. Or if you have any questions, also go and put those down in the comments. Thank you for watching.